Now it's official. James, Jeff in Vegas, good morning.
Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I am so thrilled to talk to you about One Shot, because I went into this movie cold. I knew it was some sort of action thriller, because of the trailer and stuff like that. And I'm watching the beginning of this movie and I thought, oh, okay, cool. Helicopter. He's not cutting. That's pretty cool. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. 5 minutes is going on. 10 minutes, like this isn't cutting. I'm like, oh my God, this isn't a single take. As someone who went to film school and someone who's, a film critic for 25 years. And I'm just like, this guy's insane. I mean, this, and I'm telling you, this was just one of the most amazing cinematic experiences I've ever had. So congratulations on just doing the impossible. I mean, we've seen it with drama from Hitchcock to, even we saw 1917, a few years back, but nothing like action. This is like, so I'm ranting. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you talk. Challenges are numerous. What was the most challenging aspect of this movie?
Well, thanks for your review there, Jeffrey, as well, by the way. You actually gave me some tingles. So very few people have seen it that I'm aware of, and I'm yet to experience kind of how the mass experienced the movie, and everything you just said is kind of what I'd hoped for when we were making it and planning it, because I do think it gives you, there's something very immersive about it, which is kind of quite hard to articulate in a pitch, but then once you actually see it and you're experiencing it, you're like, oh, now I understand what he was going on about in his brain.
Well, I have to admit, once I understood what you were doing, I was trying to find mistakes. I was trying to find a hesitation. I was trying to something, especially in the actors, because someone messes up, you're back to one, right? I didn't find anything. I saw the actors had the intensity. They said everything for their first line, that they were saying it for the first time. The action sequences, I'm like, oh my God, how this is, I mean, the actors, did you hire people with theater backgrounds or?
No, not really, no. But we did do a week of rehearsals before we shot the movie. And it's interesting you picked up on that. Because I think they're all too scared to make a mistake. So it's a really unique way of filming that everyone has to be on all the time. So everyone's A game is just up there, because when you're doing these long takes, and they were long takes, they weren't like a little bit, they were long. And if you're like the one person that messes up, you have to kind of apologize to 100 people or however many people might have been in that shot. So it really kept everybody really sharp. And there are some things in there that I spot that you'll hopefully won't spot. But
you're a perfectionist. That's why, James, you're a perfectionist.
I am a perfectionist, and I was speaking to my composer about this, because making a movie, even when it just is hard. Like we have so much fun doing it, but it is kind of a small miracle when you get a movie made, because everything, like you have to try and make the day, you have to get the money, you have the cast, like, and then it might not even be very good, but you still had to put in all that work to kind of make it. And it just felt like in my career where I'm at right now, it was just like every day we were just having like miracle on miracle of like, how is no one messing up? Like, what's going on? And it was a really unique, fun way to shoot, and I'll never forget the experience. And I'd love to shoot more things like it, because it's such a fun way to shoot, and an immersive way, an immersive response to an audience. It's like a trick. It's very cool.
Well, I hate to be technical, but the blocking must have been a nightmare, because you're dealing with special effects, explosions, fists flying. It's one thing if you just have dialogue, but I mean, I kept thinking to myself, and I have to admit, after a while, I stopped thinking about the technical aspect and I got into the movie, because that's, you kind of like, it draws you in. But I just kept thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my gosh, you got to stand over here, get this. I mean, did you pretty much just like, okay, guys, this is what you need to accomplish as we go through, and kind of give them a free hand,
No, because you still need to, if I gave them too much leeway, they'd be on the other side of the room, when I need them here. So I actually kind of made the movie on a GoPro in the weeks leading up to when we shot the movie. So I would block and rehearse and block and rehearse. So by the time, and I do my handheld little, so just a small little handheld GoPro. And that was enough to kind of visualize the movie before making it. So I kind of was editing in the pre-production stage. I was able to work out, oh, that's running a bit long. Oh, that's running a bit short. Oh, if I put them on that side of the room, it's harder for me to get from this side. I never really wanted the camera to feel like it was flying independently. I always wanted it to feel linked to someone. And that's kind of, I was setting these little rules for myself about the camera work and the language. And then with that, it kind of helped lead the camera and where I would put the camera. And I'm very traditional with blocking in terms of, I believe in it. And I believe, like, Barry Hitchcock is kind of like my education. And, you know, he was very about, you know, eye lines and where's this person, where's that person. And then my instinct coming from low budget has always been to put the camera in the position that makes the set look the most expensive. So I generally was doing that. So I'd work out the expensive angles of the room, and then I'd block the action around that. And then once you've kind of got all through those things and the camera operator knows where I want him to be and stuff like that, I would then hand over to the actors and go, okay, guys, like, if you want to improv a little bit, you can, but just do it, you know, kind of where we're putting it, as it were.
So much could go wrong, James. So much could go wrong. Your cameraman, if they gave out Academy Awards for cameramen, I mean, I was just thinking, it's so crazy. And Scott's fight scenes towards the end, you saved the best for the last. So if there was going to be something fake or something hokey, those are the scenes that's going to happen. Those guys look like they were going for each other. Like, I mean, I was really impressed with that. I'm saying, okay, because if they pull back or you see some sort of stage comeback, but those guys were trying to kill each other. And I thought, and after that, the movie had to end because those guys looked like they were so exhausted after that.
Well, that was the original pitch for the movie. Like, this was my third movie with Scott, and the original pitch was capitalize on Scott's martial arts fighting ability and do something where he, by the end of the movie, he just looks drained and tired, and we believe it. And that was kind of the pitch. So all of those fights and things are long takes, and like, so the Lee fight, the fight that kind of is in the prison cell, I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't seen it. Like, those two I've known for 10 years, and they've had probably about 6 on-screen fights in movies that we've made in England. And the reason that the fights, you can get away with it in one shot and what we've done, is because they are close to hitting each other, but they trust each other because they've had 6 fights before, they've had drinks together before, they shake hands at the end of every day. Like, you kind of need that. You needed those relationships to be able to sell convincingly and have enough trust in each other to be able to, like, not worry too much about pulling your punches. So, like, in the final fight with Jess, where Scott starts bleeding from his mouth, it's because he took a punch to the face at some point in that fight, and that is real blood. That is real blood, and that's just what these guys were committed to doing. And Jess comes from an MMA background, like, he fought in the UFC, and Scott comes from, you know, many years of fighting on screen, that they kind of they're obviously not trying to kill each other, they are acting, but they weren't afraid to really get close and make it as real as possible. And I thank them both for that, because it obviously is something you need with this movie, because you can't cut. We couldn't cut to sell a punch. You know, we have to show the punch. So they really went for it, and I'm very grateful to them.
They did, man. James, you made something special, man. You're in the history book. So congratulations on a great thriller. And I'm talking to Scott tomorrow, so I'm excited about that. And I can't wait to tell people about this movie, man. Congratulations.
Appreciate that, Jeffrey. Thank you so much. It's funny what you said about, I'm interested to see, it's got a bit of a rewatchability factor, not just because I think the movie works, but also because of the technical side of it. Like you said, as a scholar of film and a podcast geek for years and etc., it's like what you said about, like, when you started watching it, you were looking for the cuts, and then you just settled into the movie. I'm excited to see how many people do that, and how many people then go back and watch the movie and try and work out where and what we did, because you know, I hope we tried to be as seamless as possible, for sure. So
Well, you did. It was congratulations on doing the impossible, man. So good luck with the film, and I can't wait to see what you do next, man. Let's talk again soon.
appreciate that, Jeffrey. Yeah, anytime, man. Really nice speaking to you.